though I have passed out from my school successfully now. But I still remember an incident I got through once, which still haunts me with tremendous nightmares, leaving erected porcupine hairs all over my body. It was October 2016. The wind was quite wavy with cold currents. Winter was at its peak. I was in a preparatory school which was around 60 kilometers away from my hometown. I still remember how I used to weep upon the thought of being admitted there, but was left with no options other than going away from my parents, and especially my witless companion with whom I used to yell and barge in whole community. The security of the community placed millions of accusations against me to my father and also to the civilization's authority. Although my parents were fed up of my shenanigans but was also concerned about my future. So, they decided to send me away from the folk I was surrounded with.
It took me around 1.5 hours to reach my destination via roadway. The school building seemed to be renovated recently. The exteriors were shining like a clear transparent wine glass. The garden was beautiful with varieties of flowers. The overall view captivated me. I, getting a bit serene, exhaled a breath of excitement. All the admittance conducts were well accomplished. I was allotted the 4 established bassinets in the hostel which was in the backyard of the school architecture. My mum told me she desired to go to the washroom before leaving the dorm for home. She headed there after we asked the spot from a student who stood in the lobby peering us like if he was warning us about something we were heedless of. My mum came out of the washroom after 15 minutes. She was perspiring at her worst. After investigating, she told, when I was washing my face, I felt someone was standing right behind me. Out of my suspicion I closed the tap, and turned behind intensely. But there was no one. I, being an immature kid of class 8th, but matured enough to handle the situation, warmed her up by saying, "Hey, Mom. Relax. It was nothing there, as you by yourself admitted it. That you felt but not seen it by your eyes, right? Then how could you be so sure about that?" Mom, though it might be because of her anxiety, she might be hallucinating, she ignored the matter and they left the dorm. I settled all my stuffs in my new room occupied by 3 more aliens. We introduced each other, had our dinner and went to sleep. Since it was a new place, insomnia was troubling me. It was 2 a.m. I heard the screaming sound of someone outside. I opened up the door and out of my curiosity, I begun the search of the source. I saw a woman standing approximately 20 feet away from me. She begun screeching more clumsily, and believe me, it was the most disheartening situation for me being a lad of 15. "Who's there?" There was a persistent silence with roars of cold breeze. It scared me out of my nerves. "Who's there?" This time there was a shiver in my voice. I tried to approach her by slow creepy footsteps, drenched with sweat. Before I could go close to her, she swinged behind and said, "I am your superintendent, child. It's my chore to keep an eye over every one of you. So, I am here just to analyze if everything is fine." This statement of hers freed me from agitation, and I went back to sleep. Next morning, I shared this prevalence with my mates. I was put into a night before. Wait, what? We have a male curator for our hostel. The school premises have never employed a female for the purpose. I met him with my parents yesterday. Then who was the woman you saw last night? One of my fellow admitted. There was an awkward muzzle for a few seconds, and then the other one exclaimed, "It might be possible that you had a dreadful delusion, due to which you could have fantasized yourself with the obscure of a woman. It is not something to be concerned about, as it's your first day at a new place. This is sample for the story that I can write. Order your story today on Fiverr."